Everyone, thank you so much, Aditi and Maria, for being here today at the Accessibility Hour. Accessibility Hour is a session where we discuss and review websites in terms of accessibility. My name is Mirela Prifti. I am a digital designer, accessibility advocate, and Webflow developer, and I'm based in London, where I've co-founded Matex, which is a digital consultancy company. And today we have Aditi Desai. Did I pronounce it right?
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool. She is a web designer and Webflow developer since she was 10, right? And now she's 13. And if you want to learn more about Aditi, she has her own YouTube channel, which is called ProTeen. I'll make sure to add the video link, the link in the video description. And I really recommend watching your channel because you have some really cool tutorials there about how you build specific layouts in Webflow or specific components or animation effects. And then we have Maria Karavá, right? And she's based in Greece. Aditi is based in the US, right? So we provide the complete picture. Maria is based in Greece, and she's also a designer and Webflow developer. I guess many of the designers and developers that are part of a few design communities or Fluxes already know Maria. She is quite active and all the times helping out everybody who needs design or Webflow help. And I know she is also learning 3JS. She's a really animation lover, which is interesting that she's also curious about web accessibility. Because typically, people who love animation tend to overlook a bit on accessibility. So yeah, this is interesting. So today's session, for today's session, Aditi has picked a website that she has built in Webflow, and we're going to review it from an accessibility perspective. So Aditi, please, if you may introduce the project that you picked for today, and feel free to share your screen and your Webflow so we can check it out together.
Okay, great. So I decided to make this one particular sort of website called Gumroad. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but it's basically a website where online creators can sort of like make their own businesses. So it's like Shopify in the sense where you don't need a lot of like business experience to start something up. And I thought the interactions were cool. I liked the design. So I decided to recreate it in Webflow, and this is what I have. And the reason that I sort of wanted to pick this website in particular was it's not very animation heavy, but it does still have like a couple of like hover interactions and like parallax effects. So I was kind of curious to see how that works with web accessibility. So that's why I picked this one.
This is a great choice in my view. And we will try to cover as much as we can in this session in terms of accessibility. So yeah, I'm really curious to check it out. I can see that the audit panel, which is the panel that checks accessibility issues, is already, it's fine. So you've checked all the issues there. So there are no, I know that the audit, can you please click in the audit panel so everybody can see it?
So where?
It's, where there's a tick, there's a rectangle, the first icon, the rectangle, okay, on the mark. Yeah, so this is the audits panel that you can find within the Webflow Designer, which flags when there are any issues, any accessibility issues, they get flagged here. And the issues that it detects are the alt text. So when there's any missing alt text on images, and non-descriptive link content, or if there's any heading level skipped. Or recently they've also added the third one, which is detects if there are any ID duplicated. So I think there's nothing to check here within Webflow. So as for the first check that you do when you build in Webflow is the audit panel. So this is already done here. So Great job, Aditi.
I'm not sure if I actually did these though. I don't know what Webflow is saying, but I don't think I put alt text for a lot of these.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I don't know what that, yeah.
Okay, this is an interesting turn here. Okay, this is a bug that needs to be flagged. Okay,
Yes,
this is interesting, which means that we can go and use another tool to make sure that we can detect all the accessibility issues for this web page. So we're going to focus on the home page. I will provide you a link,
Okay.
which is this one. If you're able to open the chat.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, can you please use that link?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is a tool called Wave.
Mm-hmm.
And so Wave stands for Web Accessibility Evaluation Tool, and it is powered by WebAIM, which stands for Web Accessibility in Mind. It's a free tool that you can use to do an accessibility assessment on Webflow. It is not complete, so it might not detect everything, but it detects most technical issues. So if you can take the URL of the homepage.
Yeah, got it.
Of your website, okay.
So I can use the Webflow link, right?
Yeah, it's fine. So you can copy and paste it here, and then okay, we'll wait a few seconds. It's a bit slow because you're using Zoom, and it typically slows it down.
Yeah, I think that's why.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the panel. On the left side of your screen, you have the Wave panel. And here you can see an overview of the issues that it detected on this page. Issues, alerts, and also stuff that you've done right. So if you go in the second tab, the details, for example, and here you have like a more detailed information of what we saw in the summary. So for example, the first thing that it flags is linked image missing alt text. So if you click on the red rectangle, exactly that one. So this is the logo, which is an image, and now that you clicked on the red icon, you also have a description of what this error means. So in this case, it's an image without alternative text. When it comes to, as this is also a link, this creates issues for people who use screen readers to navigate a website. So imagine someone that is not able to view the site, so has visual impairment. So they use a screen reader to understand what the content of a web page is about. So when they get to this part of the page, which is a link and an image, the screen reader will detect that it is a link, but it won't be able to provide any information of what this link is about because there is no alt text. So you need to make sure to provide an alternative text that is descriptive of what is the purpose and the function of this link in this specific case.
Okay, got it. I get what you mean. So when a screen reader is sort of like going through this, it doesn't understand what the actual image is about because the person that's using the website, using the screen reader can't see it, right?
Yeah, definitely. So for example, in this case, if you click on this, it takes you to the homepage.
Yeah.
So you might add in the alt text Gumroad homepage. And then it will be easier for the screen reader to let the user understand that this link contains an image that with the Gumroad logo, but the link takes you to the homepage. So this would be, if you go, can you please go to the Webflow panel? Okay. Yeah, can you please click on the audit panel? Oh, now it flags it as, okay.
Yeah, now there's,
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, there are other missing alt text that now Webflow is also detecting.
Mm-hmm.
So you might also follow it from here. So for example, you have the first image of the hero section, which is the one that you have already selected. And here you may decide if this image is relevant for the user to understand what the content of this section is about. If it is relevant, you have to specify an alt text. Otherwise, if you go to settings,
so for example, this image that I'm clicked on right here is a picture of somebody's face. So that would be sort of relevant, but these sort of stickers that exist around it, those serve a more decorative purpose. So you don't need to add like as descriptive. Okay, got it.
You got it right. So can you please try it right now? So
okay, sure.
You can see it live, how it works. You go to settings, yeah?
Yeah, and here at alt text, I just have to hit custom description.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what would you think is like a good thing to sort of give like an alt text to for this particular?
Well, take a look at the example that Webflow provides, right? The example text, cute hedgehog curled into a ball. So this is like a descriptive. Imagine someone that is not able to see the picture, and what did you tell them?
So I think here this like sort of name tag sort of signifies that like this is like a person, right? And this is like their Gumroad account. So I might say face of a creator on Gumroad. I think that makes some sort of sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Yes. Because you are also, it also needs to be relevant to the context. So you are also providing context with these descriptions. So this is perfect. Okay. This is really good. Okay, so this is done. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I'd like to mention here is that it might be tricky to be very descriptive when you add alt text. For example, if you when you use, if you'd say like white color, white flowers, red flowers, but if someone doesn't know, has never seen colors, that may be like difficult to understand also, right? So yeah, we might be descriptive, but based on the context. And now if we go to the edit panel, yeah, you'll see that you have, now we have 33 alt text. Missing.
It was 36, so
yeah, so last 3. And you see, okay, now it is flagging, okay, now it is also flagging the non-descriptive link content that we discussed at the beginning. So, and if you go to this specific issue, you know how to solve it now.
Yeah, so it's in this sort of brand.
Yeah, and now you need to choose, do you need to just write Gumroad logo, or as this is a link, what would be best to what would be the best description to provide here?
So like Gumroad. So when I'm doing it for a link, would I like specify that it's a link? So like link to Gumroad homepage, or would
you don't? Okay, you don't have to specify it, because that this is like a whole different topic, which is about semantic HTML, which is very important for screen readers. So screen readers automatically detect that that's a link. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to specify anything about that. But you, in this case, as there is no text inside the link, you can only provide the alt text. So you might just Gumroad homepage, for example.
Okay. So I would select the brand, and then I would go to the settings again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is a bit slow, right?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I think, it might be the Zoom that we're using.
I have a question. How wrong would it be to, I don't know, write something like Gumroad logo linking to the homepage or something?
It makes sense. As long as it makes sense, yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
So that would I put that on the link or the image? Because like, do I have to set an alt text for the link and the image, or just like one or?
No, alternative text is only for images.
Oh, so then what? So for example, a link, what are we doing when we're describing like?
Oh, okay. So for example, we have the button text, or this is just a link actually in Webflow. It's not a button, it's a link element. In
I'm gonna pretend
yeah,
it says sign up.
Yeah, sign up. So this is actually a link. And when I get here, it says sign up. So I know that if I click here, it might take me to a page where I can sign up to this platform.
Yeah.
But what if it was written, click here, just click here without, just click here. So imagine that someone is going through the links of a web page and all they hear is click here, read more. They wouldn't be able to understand what the function and the purpose of each of these links. So this is also another instance of when we have non-descriptive link content.
Right, because click here like doesn't tell anybody like where that page is going to take them to. Or okay.
So you can either use text, so the text of the link, or if it's an image, the alt text as the alternative.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for some reason, Webflow isn't allowing me to get the settings of the link.
No worries, it doesn't matter. I think we explained it enough. But but I think with the audit panel in Webflow, the two issues that it detected were the alt text and the first one that we also there's also the skipped heading level. This is also, are you able to open it? Because otherwise we can. Okay, cool. Can you get to the skipped heading level so we can also.
So just show me here.
Okay, it's this one. So how do we understand headings? Imagine like a book. So a book has the title of a book, which is just one, and then has chapters. Each chapter has a title, and then chapters might have like sections, and each section has a title, and sections might have subtitles, subsections, and so on. And this order follows a logical content flow of the book, right? It is the same logic that we apply also on web pages. So we have only one heading one, which is typically the one that we see on in the hero section. So that is the H1. Then we have the second heading level, which is the H2. And these are nested inside the H1. Then we have the third heading level, which are nested inside an H2. So imagine like the H1 as the book title, H2 as the chapter title, and the H3 headings as the section titles within the chapter. And the design should also reflect this logic, the logic of the content flow. So, for example, in this case, it detects a heading. Is this a heading 3? Yeah, this is an H3. And the issue is skipped heading level, which, from what I understand, it means that you have skipped an H2. So this heading 3 needs to be nested inside an H2, or this shouldn't be a heading 3, or this should be a heading 2. So let's take a look at the design and the contents, and then we can try to understand before, and then we can get to the solution. Are you able to scroll up? So
sure. We
can take a look. Okay. So this is the H1, go from $0 to $1. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Very ambitious. From $0 to $1. Okay. Okay. Can you please scroll down? So this is the H1.
This is also an H1, which I was sort of using as like for my interaction. This, I wasn't sure what to think of this because it's not like a main sort of like something that requires you to read it or anything. Like it's not like a big part of the website itself, but it acts as like an interaction. So I was wondering, like, does this stay as a heading 1? Like, what would I change this to? Get that? Because it's not serving like an actual purpose in terms of like what information it's giving. So what would I change it to be then? Like, if it's not a heading 1, then what could it be? I mean, in my belief, I think it's just decorative because like it just like really looks good. Like, I don't know if there's any purpose that it really serves, because we're kind of talking about that same thing like right up here, and then we mention it down here as well. So like, I don't know if this serves a purpose in terms of like content.
And then if it's not relevant, in my view, it would make sense to set it as not as a heading. This is something that it is replicated. So it's like you're replicating the same heading. It doesn't make any sense to me to set it as a heading. Mm-hmm. From the design, it doesn't look like it makes sense to set it as a heading.
Okay, got it.
I just checked the Gumroad page.
Okay,
we'll just have it as a normal text. Okay. The next H2, it's coming to a different section later on.
Okay. Yeah, so that was it's just decorative. So it's not relevant to set it as a heading. So we cannot consider this as a chapter title. Let's say so from the initial analogy. Mm-hmm. Okay, so is this one okay? So this is a heading 3.
This one, yes.
Yeah. What was the heading right before this one?
This one is a heading 1, but like even before it, this one is also a heading 1. So like if we sort of disregard that this is an actual heading, then yeah.
Okay, so in this case, it would make sense that this would be an H2.
Okay, got it.
So yeah. Great, cool.
Okay, so when we're using headings, like when we're using headings, obviously H1 is like the biggest, and then H6, which I don't think anybody really uses, is the smallest, right? So when we're sort of thinking in that like order, they all have like they have default like font sizes for all of them. So like an H1 would be like, I don't remember, like 40 pixels I think was about it. So they all have default font sizes, and I don't usually like stick to that font size, but I think what me and a lot of other people do is that I like associate with like really big headings being a part of H1, and then like really small headings being a part of as you kind of go down that like number road. So like when I think of I think H2s, I think of them being really big, when I don't think I should sort of associate with font size. It's more about content placement, right?
Yeah, it's important to separate here the HTML tags, which is the heading tag, and the H1 from H1 to H6, and the styling that we apply. So definitely do not use these heading tags for styling. Use your own classing system. So we're not going to the CSS today, but set your design guidelines, a design system inside your project that would manage all the styling. And this is all about structure. It's not about styling. The styling should not be managed from the heading text. So these are two separate things.
I'll intervene also.
You have to. That's why you're here.
There are some times that H2, while it's important, visually doesn't have to be the most important part. And I'm thinking a project we did with Mirela, checking for accessibility, mine, that it had some years, and then it was that era's kind of name. So my years were an H2 because it's important, it's placing it in time. But the name of that era, it was a Star Trek thing. It was more important because who remembers when this happened, you know? So the decision was like, the name, it was bigger than actually than the H2. The H3 was bigger than the H2 visually.
Right. Yeah, but yeah, they're completely two separate things. We should separate them.
Yeah, but the content made more sense that the years was the H2.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So like the font size is not like directly tied in with like what is it, H1, H2, H3, etc., etc.
So when you're setting the heading level, you need to think of the content structure. Then with the style, you can, the styling you can experiment as you prefer, as you wish. But as long as you follow the content structure, that's fine. Okay, then we can go to the next section, unless this was the only issue here.
Yeah,
with the headings.
Should I open this up again? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this was the issue here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the only time that we had the heading. Yeah. So should we go to the other alt text?
No, I think the non-descriptive link content was just the home link, right? So
it was just the brand one.
Okay, so we can go to the wave tab now. So so we can continue here. Okay, so the first error is we talked about it, and then there's the second one, which is language missing or invalid. Now, if you were to develop a web page with code, the first thing that you do when you type HTML is set the language, right?
Yeah.
But obviously in Webflow, we might forget it because you have to go to the settings. And why is this important? As it is also explained here in the, as you clicked here in the world icon, the language is missing, and it is important, for example, for screen readers, but also for your browsers when they need to auto-detect, let's say, the language of a web page and then auto-translate it. And it is the first thing that you do it. And I also try to remember that it is also the first thing that I need to do when I open a Webflow project, because sometimes you just tend to forget to set it. And how do we do this? How do we solve this in Webflow? I'm not sure if you're able to go to the project settings or if it is too slow.
Let's try.
So we can also show how to set the language in a Webflow project. Yeah, it should be here. Yeah, in the general tab. If you scroll down,
right here.
Here it is. Yeah, here you can set the language code. In this case, it's English, so it's EN. You may also specify, for example, US English, or which would be N, and then it's, I guess, US. Definitely. And for British English, it's GB, I guess. There's a list, there's a list of language codes here. It is also available in Webflow, that you can choose. And when you specify also the region, like in this case, US, typically, screen readers will recognize this and read it with that accent.
Got it.
So this is also for Spanish. There are also available different accents. For German, there are available different accents like Austria, Germany, Switzerland. So if you're doing websites that are not only in English, you might also try to use specific region, the language code for specific region. And this is also another issue that we tackled today. So let's go to Wave again.
Yep. Okay, right here.
Okay, so the alerts area, these are not necessarily issues, but are more things that you may or may not require intervention from your site, or just things that it flags, just check it out. So the skipped heading level, it's something that we already saw in Webflow.
Right here.
Yeah. And the possible heading. I think that this tool does like an audit of the content and detects some parts of the content as potential headings, possible heading. And this is something that you as designer, as you know very, very well the specific of the content of the web page, and then you should decide if it makes sense that this should be a heading or not. Okay, it's strange that it is not detecting that there are that, yeah, you see there are 28 heading level 1. It is not detecting it as an issue, which should not be, yeah, this is not correct. But,
yeah, these are where all those heading ones are.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Okay, now we know it.
Yeah.
Okay. So from a technical perspective, from what these automatic tools can detect, these were the issues that that you can easily also solve once you have finished developing your website. Usually this is they do not detect everything. Like, for example, we also need to use common sense. And when it comes to animations, for example, and like we have this, like this is a marquee, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, like a looping, yeah.
Yeah. So this is slow, so it's fine. But if it was, let's say, too fast, or yeah, you need to make sure that it was not causing many potential issues to people that have issues with fast animations, for example.
Right. So like I think I've heard of like flashing lights and stuff like that shouldn't be used on websites very often. Yeah.
That is the worst, obviously. Obviously. Yeah, so that's where, so we can use tools to detect specific issues, but not everything. We'd also need to, read a lot about what actually disability is, and about different type of visual impairments and other types of issues that people might have and might face when navigating websites, and then take them into consideration as we design and then build our projects. It's a long process, obviously. This is just an introduction, and I also like to say that this session was very spontaneous. We hadn't rehearsed anything. And Maria was already part of the first accessibility hour that we did together. And I hope that it was a fun session. It was for me.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me to be on here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, both of you, Aditi and Maria. And we might even do it some other time, right?
Yeah, definitely. This was great. I definitely learned something.